Welcome to Beauty Flip. I'm Edda Coscioni, where I flip the script every single week on what is our true beauty, where we find purpose and personal power. I do this with grounded wisdom, irreverent humor, and a no-nonsense call to live a life that actually matters. I'm not here to play small. Are you? I bring to you a powerful understanding of where your beauty truly lies. If you are craving depth, edge, humor, and a little bit of divine disruption, then tune in. I got some good stuff to tell you.
Hi, you happy little humans. Welcome to Beauty Flip. I am Edda Coscioni, and who am I to be talking about anything? So here I am. I have been a coach for 25 years. I have owned a salon for 11, and I've been a hairdresser, makeup artist, and clothing stylist for 20. I have been a Reiki healer, spiritual healer for 15 years. And here's the crazy cool thing that I've discovered about all of us, including me. We are so unaware of what is beautiful about us. We are so trapped in what we think is the important things. We are so lost. There is a constant, unrealistic standard of what is coming at us all the time, even more so now than before because of things like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, etc., where we are constantly being bombarded not only with images of what we think is beautiful or good or the important things to focus on, but actually being bombarded with constant feedback about what we need, and that we're constantly in need of pretty much everything that everyone is selling us. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of concepts. The first one is Beauty Flip. Beauty Flip is a place where, yes, maybe because of my expertise of working with TV celebs, being on photo shoots with models, working with people every single day, being an award-winning hairdresser, a salon that has won awards, I know a couple of things about beauty. So yes, I might teach you some things, some tricks, some tips about beauty, but truthfully, what I'm going to teach you is what is beautiful about you. It is something I see every single day, and what most people miss when they look in the mirror, because what most people see, and I don't even care how tall of a model you are. For some of you, you just can't imagine that someone who is like this gorgeous 6 foot something model, blonde, long legs, that basically has like 0% fat, etc., what they see is potentially where they might start be getting too old, not skinny enough, etc., that some model right behind them is going to overtake their place. So even the very sort of God-given looks or ways that we are is a constant competition. And we're going to get into this crazy thing, this competition that is so much a part of our society. And it's, competition is good, but what it's turned into is a competition for who you need to be. You need to be something that you're not. And this is where I was also talking about the constant way that we hear the chatter of all the things we need to buy, do, have in order to be a better version of ourselves, a better something of ourselves, better, and hopefully, ultimately, kind of win at this game of being a human. So let's go into some concepts here. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is flip your script. That is something you're going to hear all the time about where we are looking at flipping our script. Why did I call this first episode Perfectly Imperfect? Because I am imperfect and I'm choosing to do a podcast, even though people might tell me, oh, you're too old to do a podcast. You don't have enough media training to do a podcast. Who are you? You're just a salon owner. You're just, some sort of educator. You don't have the training. You don't have the know-how. You don't have anything. Why are you doing a podcast? You don't have the star power. You don't have the $1 million backing. You don't have all the things to do a podcast. Yeah, but I want, and I believe in my message. So even though I'm imperfect, I am choosing to do something that matters to me. I am choosing to find a way to create a platform for me, and I think people who are like me, who need to hear a message that has been very important to me, a message that I teach the people who are in my classes, a message that I feel in our world today needs to be spoken. And that's why I'm doing this. So even though I'm imperfect and I might have to shoot 5,000 times to get this all correct and learn software and do all the things and sometimes pull my own hair out, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I am willing to face all of the ways that I am not good enough in order to create something that matters to who? To me. And secondly, to hopefully create a community of something that matters to others. A place, a voice, an actual, if you will, movement. A movement, a beauty flip movement, a place where we stop buying things, stop getting on what I would call like the relentless treadmill of where we run and chase after something that is just out of our reach, to hopefully, if we grab it, suddenly feel whole. Because what I want to teach you is you are whole. And in ways that you're not whole, that's okay, because I think that's part of being human. But not because you need a product, not because your hair needs to be blonder, not because you need to be dating if you're single, or single if you're dating, married if you're not, divorced if you don't like your honey, etc., etc., etc. Those are things that, yeah, maybe, but those are not the answers. The millions of products that come through your phone, your computer, on Amazon, etc., 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 those are not the things that are going to make you feel whole. What's going to make you feel whole is, as the lovely Helen Keller would say it, is to go on to a daring adventure. I love the way she says this quote: life is a daring adventure, or it is nothing at all. And I am proposing with Beauty Flip that most of us are in the nothing at all. That most of us are trying. I don't think not trying. I don't think we want to be hanging out. I think I'm going to choose nothing at all while we're on our couch clicking through, deciding to watch, some sort of silly reality TV or something like that, right? I don't think that's what we are choosing. I think we end up there. I think because, unfortunately, in our little world that we live in our society in general, but I don't think it's just our society, I think it's a lot of societies right now, have this very intense patriarchal drumbeat in ways that we are being asked to show up and perform in order to matter and belong. So, ultimately, I'm going to give you some new concepts here. So Beauty Flip is this idea of flipping the script, turning off of being this thing where you need to buy, do, have, perform, ultimately compete at every single thing. At every single thing. I want you to think of what potential post you or your friends did and how many photos you needed to take to make that post happen. Was it an hour shoot? I mean, I joke with some of my friends, how sometimes you have to shoot and reshoot, in the salon. Oh my God, it's boring. It's so old. Who cares? Really, none of us do, but God, we're just trying to stay in the mix. We're trying to stay relevant. We're so desperate to be relevant. Well, let me tell you something. The reason why you're so desperate to be relevant is because there's something you didn't even know that you're on. And this is one of my second concepts. You are on something that I call the uneven playing field. This playing field, this uneven playing field, if you can imagine from the top, picture a soccer field or a football field, and then literally imagine that we were able to take it from being even and literally lift one whole side up. and the other side stays down. And so then it becomes this big old hill, right? Up and down, like has like a total steep grade on it. And one end zone is very high up in the air and the other end zone is back on the ground. So on this uneven playing field, ultimately the people, and I know if we looked around us right now, there are no quote unquote people who created it, but there are people who certainly are maintaining this playing field. And the playing field, my lovely, lovely people, is ultimately built for people who already kind of have a lot of the things. So they want to stay on top, which I guess to some degree as a human way of being and doing things makes sense. Yes, I want to stay on top. I want to be king of the mountain. Yes, 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 I get that. But at the detriment of everybody else, really. It's okay if people are king and winning and competing. That's fabulous. But to what end? Because the other half of that little conversation of this playing field, this uneven playing field, is ultimately a constant messaging of what you need to do in order to matter, to be relevant, to even exist, to belong, etc., etc. And those things, mattering, belonging, existing, etc., are very deep human needs. If you go to talk to any psychologist anywhere, they could probably pull out 1,000,000 books about the ways that we are literally biologically imprinted to have those things. We are societal beings. We are social beings. We organize and maintain groups, tribes, packs. Like if we were on some sort of, nature show, they would talk about the humans and they would talk about their need to belong together. So this is very core. So ultimately what's happened is this uneven playing field that is maintained by people who ultimately are trying to stay at top, are closer to the top, right, up here, sends a drum beat down to everybody else. Now, there are some people who maybe they're like up, like sort of midway top, and so they're not doing so bad. And then there are some people who are like maybe literally halfway down, and they're like looking, how do they get higher up on this little playing field, this uneven playing field? And then there are some people who are way down here. Now, I'm gonna say something. So here is what this is. Ultimately, this is the patriarchy. What? The patriarchy? No, it's a playing field. What are you talking about? No, it is. Because our society 250 years ago was built by people who were considered relevant, and those people were men. And if we want to even look a little bit further, they were white men. Yeah. So, my lovely lovelies, we are dealing with the fact that we live in a patriarchal society, and there are certain things, there are certain biases, certain rules, certain agreements that we have in order for our society to still exist that keep us on the uneven playing field. So, as I was mentioning, there are some people who are at the top and some people maybe sort of like a little below the top and in the middle. There are a lot of people who are at the bottom. And these people just kind of don't actually fit into what are the rules of this game on the uneven playing field. And ultimately, the rules have been built for these people down here at the very bottom who are playing, oh, by the way, uphill at a constant beat against their very nature and way of doing things. These people tend to be women. Yeah, they do. And they also might be other marginalized people. So some of you are going to be like, yeah, don't think I believe this. It's true. It just is. And we'll get into this more. I'll explain why this has happened. And to some degree it has happened, but to another degree it continues and it's getting more and more intense. And that is why I've come up with these concepts. So here we are, we're on the beautiful playing field, this uneven playing field. We're playing a game that we don't even know that we're playing. We show up every single day, we clock in, we do our hair, we do the things that we think we need to do in order to exist. And then I'm going to give you another like sort of tidbit. Some of us try to even figure out how to like maybe move up that field. Well, when we do that, we start to trip ourselves up. Because sometimes in order to compete in this world, this crazy little game that has been laid out for us, this uneven playing field. And in order to get up the top, one of the things we start to do is we start to calculate, how can we get up? I just want you to think right now, this morning, within the day, where did you calculate that you could be better than Susie Q, who is in the cube next to you, or Joe Schmo, who like maybe is like, you guys are like both vying for the same, job, position, etc. That is where, like, yeah, to some degree, yes, competition matters. But when it comes down to us competing about very being of our nature, this is where things get crazy. In my next episode, I'm going to give you an example that I can tell you right now, every woman is going to have a good giggle because they know that they've been this person. But that example is just showing you, without any like time or idea, before you even know it, something as simple as being invited to a party can turn into being on this uneven playing field, playing a game and doing something where you're trying to calculate how to be the best, how to have the best outcome, where you begin to like lose yourself and make a million choices so that you can be the best outcome, least amount of haters, etc., etc., etc. So I call that the calculating. I call that the mindfuck math. Yes, I do. So mindfuck math is where you, me, every single one of us try to figure out what it's going to take to get up that playing field higher, better, longer. And the crazy thing about that playing field, and I know all of you feel it, is sometimes you win, you get a little higher up and you can feel it, and almost instantaneously you feel fear. Because that fear is showing you that ultimately everything we're building and putting up on that uneven playing field is almost like a house of cards. It's going to fall apart if you don't keep it together. So ultimately, let me just give you an example of the mindfuck math. Let me use me as a version of what happens. Hi, I want to create a podcast. Oh, that's great. Oh, wait. I'm going to do my mindfuck math now. Oh, wait, who am I to create a podcast? Oh, let's just go over right now to my little calculator and calculate this out. Yeah, shall we? So I sit down on my little calculator and I start crunching the numbers. Who are you? Who are you? You're not an influencer. You shouldn't have a podcast. That's ridiculous. Oh my God, you've not had really any media training. What the heck? What are you thinking? You don't know how to do this. Oh my gosh, you're a middle-aged woman? What do you have to say? No one listens to you. Haven't you read the stats? After you're 40, no one cares about you. Anyone in America who is over 40, who is a woman, doesn't actually have any point of view whatsoever. Oh, by the way, you're a little too fat, so you're not going to really look that good on camera for anyone who's going to watch this. It's probably not a good idea. What are you doing? You have freckles. You don't have beautiful skin, so no one's going to want to watch you anyway. Do you get it? Do you get how quickly we start doing the mindfuck math? Something as simple as like, I think I have an important message. I'd like to actually create a venue, a place for me to put this message out, becomes an insane onslaught of all the things that you need to fix, do, make sure that you resolve in order to do it right. Perfect. Yes. And that is why I'm doing this podcast. Because guess what? No matter how many things I try to solve, let's say I get Botox, let's say I lose 30 pounds, let's say I somehow look younger, let's say I get a whole bunch of media training, let's say I get $1 million backers backing me and I do all the perfect marketing and everything and I get the most fabulous clothes and I get a makeup artist doing my makeup so I look like the most gorgeous woman. It still won't be enough. It still won't be enough. So I, in the face of my imperfectness, am doing this podcast. I am flipping my script. I am choosing to say it matters more that I do it than it matters that I have to do it perfectly. I am willing to stand on that uneven playing field and stand for something, as opposed to figuring out what the mindfuck math is, so that hopefully I gain a little higher position on that uneven playing field. I know that I'm beautiful. Most of the times, some of the times, okay, some of the times I don't know I'm beautiful. But I know that the human spirit is beautiful. I know that. I have seen it. I have experienced it. It is so goddamn beautiful. And if it exists in me, it exists in you. You are goddamn beautiful. You forgot. You forgot how beautiful you were. Maybe you never knew. Maybe you never knew. That's okay. We can find that together. We can find what is so goddamn beautiful about you. We can play this game, flipping the script. What if I have this idea and maybe I ignite the light in you and you begin to believe that you are beautiful. And maybe you start living your life like Helen Keller said. Maybe you decide to do the daring adventure. The thing that makes your heart kind of a little like nervous and you can't imagine because you're not prepared enough. You didn't study enough. You're not good enough. You're not skinny enough. You're not tall enough. You're too fat. You have too many wrinkles. You have red hair. What if in the face of every single reason why you are not good enough to be on that uneven playing field, you are beautiful. And your spirit is beautiful. And you are a unique snowflake of a human. So important, which blows any of our minds away, that you should be here, that you awesomely are part of some amazing design. Yeah, what if that's the game? What if that's the game? What if your voice? What if your history? What if the very part of you that is so plain Jane, white, vanilla, poor, not educated enough, not anything enough, is the very reason why you're enough, perfect, beautiful, imperfectly perfect. So come join me. Listen to my next podcast where I give an insane example of how something as simple as going to a party turns into mindfuck math and going on that uneven playing field, where we have a really good time. Stay with me where I start to break apart what it is that keeps us trapped, keeps us playing on that uneven playing field, and helps us ultimately start to see the real, true, I'm going to use the word game, but maybe way of being that helps us unlock who we really are. And if I can flip your script and mine, maybe we begin to flip others. And then this happens in our society where people flip and flip and flip and flip, and we start something and things start to catch on fire and people start living their daring adventure and they get out there and they go and they're willing to face fears that they weren't willing to face because they know that they're doing it for themselves and not because it's a goddamn like on an Instagram post or TikTok. Matter of fact, maybe they get off Instagram and TikTok because who knows? Maybe that's not where we need to be anymore. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for coming. I'll see you next week when we go at it one more time, trying to figure out how to get off that playing field. If you're looking for other ways to flip your script, join us at mybeautyflip.com. Here you'll find all sorts of courses that are for women, they're for couples, they're for parents. Also, along those lines, just for flipping your script. If you're mad at me, like, hey, I wanted some beauty tips, then go to Salon Edda. I'm happy to have you there, where we will absolutely take care of you.